Because he didn't need no gun to kill nobody. He could have beat your ass up and down the street, you and the clowns that you hang out with. Now my baby is dead because you're a bitch. You're a coward. You already know how life is in prison. And you think you're going to just be happy-go-lucky? Nah, mother. You're going to suffer for the rest of your life, bent over with your mouth open, being everybody's bitch for the rest of your life.
Say to me, there he is. Do whatever you want. I would kill you. You killed my daughter.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. It means everything to me. Before we get started, I just wanted to say to everybody that has been reaching out to me, showing me support, I appreciate you so much. When I tell you I appreciate you, I truly, truly mean it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please leave me a comment. Please leave me a like. It would mean so much to me. You guys are just the best, and I thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, guys, before I start, okay, let me just say this. This is a little 9-year-old girl. This is not easy to listen to. This is really difficult to listen to. But I also think that it's very important to listen to. If you don't feel like you can handle this one, I would skip ahead to the next one. But if you want to give it a try, I think it's important to watch. I think it's an important one. I just want to put that out there first. Okay, so this is 9-year-old Desire Mays. November 9th, 2017. Desire was walking to her bus stop for the first time ever. This is 23-year-old Lacynthia Tidmore. She was driving down the road at the same time, texting on her phone. There's a truck driver behind Lacynthia, beeping his horn at her, trying to get her attention to let her know that Desire was crossing the street. Tragically, Lacynthia did not look up in time and hit Desire with her car. As awful as that is, this gets so much worse. And not that this is not a PSA to not text and drive, because I hate people that text and drive. So it is absolutely a PSA to not text and drive. It's more than that. Lacynthia just kept going. Yes, she just kept going. She just left the scene and she drove to a gas station. She got gas and then she went to work. She would eventually turn herself in because somebody spotted her. When she turned herself in, she claimed that she thought she had hit a cone. When we go deeper into this, you'll see how that is just the biggest crock. But that's her story in the beginning. She thought she hit a cone. Lacynthia was charged with third-degree aggravated vehicular homicide and failure to stop after an accident. She pled guilty and, in my opinion, gave an extremely rehearsed, forced, meaningless, empty apology. But you guys watch the apology and let me know what you think.
I'm sorry that everything happened how it happened. Like, I regret the day. I wish I can go back and redo it if I could. I mean, I'm sorry about the life that I took, and it haven't just changed the family life, but it changed my life, like, completely. It's like I'm really sorry about everything, like everything. It's some things that I wish I could go back and redo differently, and I'm truly sorry.
Right, Ms. Fry?
Heartfelt? Genuine? What do you think? In my opinion, absolutely not. Not even a little bit. Okay, next up is Desiree's great aunt. It's very hard to watch, but if you do decide to watch, pay attention to Lacynthia in the background. Her face will speak volumes.
I do not believe that she is sorry for what she did, because she could have stopped. She could have stopped and made sure that she didn't hit a kid or a dog or a cat or a rock or anything, but she didn't.
I had the unfortunate opportunity to see this car right after she hit her at a gas station that I frequent every day. She had a conversation with one of my friends that works in the gas station, and at no time did my friend say she never even knew. They laughed, they joked, she paid for gas, and asked her not to call the police and have her car towed. And when I got there, I saw the police processing this car. And that's something that I have to live with every day because I held that baby. You know, and every time she looked at me, she smiled all the time. She had so much life in her. She wanted to do stuff, and she loved her mother. And now she don't have that no more. And no matter how much time this girl get, she gonna get to come out and be with her kid, or kids, or her family, or whatever. My niece don't have that no more. Desire was an only child, and she's going to be missed by us, and she was loved by us, and she had family that cared about her and cared about everything she did and about everything that she was going to be. I pray for my niece every day because she is struggling right now. It's a lot of days she wake up and she don't want to be here. What are we supposed to do? How can we help her with this? It's nothing that I can say that's going to help her. And I buried 2 of my kids back to back. So I know how she feels. But I don't know that feeling that she feels, and I wouldn't wish that on nobody. Her words mean nothing to me. Nothing to me. Just by her, the way she stand here, and it's nothing. It's nothing, not a tear shed. You don't feel bad about anything. It's just unfortunate that you got caught. That's where they're angry at now, is because she got caught. But what about us? What about Desire's family? You know, what about her mother and how she's going to have to spend the rest of her life trying to deal with somebody that was texting and driving when you should have been paying attention? Because honestly, she didn't have to be the only kid. It was more kids out there that morning. She could have hit 2 or 3 kids and she still would have kept going. So I'm begging you to please take into consideration how we feel and how my niece feels and what she's going through right now, because it's not going to end for her.
Your Honor, I do not feel that Cynthia is remorseful, not one bit. That day that she hit Desire, not one time did she stop. She had people behind her blowing, telling her, you are about to hit a child. Not one time did she slow down, put her phone down, nothing. She knew that she hit a child. I was at the hospital that morning. I got a phone call at work. I left work to go to the hospital to be with her. She made a phone call to her family, her sister, knowingly that she hit Desire, and told her sister this. Knowingly went to work and called a ride to go to work. She had no intentions on turning herself in. She had no intentions on stopping. She had no intentions on being caught with this accident. Not one time do I feel she is remorseful at all. Nobody hits somebody saying that they hit a cone and don't stop. I don't care if you hit a rock. You're going to stop to see if something is wrong with your car. You knew something was wrong with your car. You had a whole piece of your car missing. You can't possibly tell me that you driving like that, not knowing that something is going on. She changed lives that day. Not one life, she changed lives that day. That day, my Desire was supposed to be with me for that weekend. I had to wake up that next day explaining to my kids, where was Desire? Why Desire's not coming over? Do you know how hard it is to explain to kids that they're not coming back at all? Not one time did she just out here living her life on social media, gallivanting around like there's a part, like everything is okay. There's nothing okay about this situation at all. You should not be able to be on social media and thinking that this is a joke and a game, and then you get mad. No, you act like we're bothering you, that we disrupted your life. You disrupted our lives. It's not fair to her mother. It's not fair that she should have to go through this, spend her holidays, birthdays, not having her child there at all. But it was okay for you to call and let people know what you did, and then turn around and act like you didn't know what you did. You knew exactly what you did. So I feel that she should get time in jail. I don't feel that she should see her kids. If she see her kids, I feel like she should have to see her kids behind bars. I don't feel like she should be getting any privileges. This house arrest has done nothing for her at all. This whole time she's been on house arrest, she's been running the streets, on social media, just living. Not one time did she act like she was sorry. You don't laugh in a mother's face like it's okay. It's not a joke and it's not a game.
Okay, guys, this is Mom coming up next. And again, the first two were difficult. This is really, really, really difficult. And that's why I didn't give you all the details of everything, because I feel like it's more powerful when you hear it for the first time and you hear it from Mom. So Mom basically breaks the entire thing down right now. It's not easy to watch. It's really hard to watch. I even got choked up. So I'm just putting that out there. But this is Mom coming up next.
Twyla, TWYLA. Desire Lemire Mays, wonderful little girl. She affected a lot of people's lives. She was a straight A student. She loved school. She loved to dance. She loved to sing. She was very respectful and very mature for her age. I was very hard on her because I know how society is. At the age of 9, she knew how to cook. She could clean. She could wash dishes. She was so excited to turn 10 because we had this big party planned for her. She was not playing in the street. She was crossing the street to go to her bus stop. We live on Babbitt. I don't understand what I am going through. I am seeing a psychiatrist. I am on 3 different medications. I have tried to kill myself. This is just so unfair. And I would have some type of sympathy for Cynthia if she just would have stopped. The accident had already happened. She broke my daughter's neck. That is how my daughter died. She died on the scene. She was in the hospital for 15 days because I couldn't let her go. When they caught it dead on arrival means she died at the scene. She broke both of my daughter's femurs. She slashed from the inside out. She broke every bone in my daughter's face. Every tooth in the front of her face was gone. Her chin was split wide open. Her eyes was bulging out of her head. Her neck was broken. You had to be speeding. No way you was doing 30 miles. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. My daughter leaves out the house at 6:53. Her father father leaves right before her. I work night shift. We practiced this for a whole week. So I know my daughter knew how to cross the streets a whole week before this happened. This was the first day that I let her go anywhere by herself. This is what y'all don't understand, the type of mother that I am. I stopped my life for my daughter, and my whole life for my child. She was a good kid, and everybody fast that she crossed loved her. The school stopped for all the kids to go to her funeral. This is not fair to me. As a driver, you are obligated to pay attention. Not only your license was suspended when you was driving to begin with, you didn't even have insurance. I don't have no money. I'm an STNA. I won't work my butt off. I don't get child support. I don't get anything. I never went to child support. I took the responsibility once I left her father. That was that. And I raised my daughter for 8 years by myself with the support of these people that you see. These are not just people just coming out the woodwork. These are people who know Desire, who loves Desire, who was in her life. She had 9 birthdays, and my cousin was at every last birthday. Her kids was at every last birthday. I don't have that anymore. I can't hold my daughter. I can't yell at her. I can't put her on punishment. I don't have any more kids. And for you to just disregard, you knew what you did, how your tire fell off, your bumper was off. A cone not gonna do that. I don't care that it was construction, a little couple of minutes. A cone wouldn't have done that. A car was, RTA Transit was behind her and blew because they seen my daughter. How you didn't see her? So you that into your phone? Somebody's behind you blowing, warning you that you finna hit my child. You killed her on the scene. There was no tire marks in the streets. You kept going. Then you called either your mother, your sister, I don't know who you called, but you called for a ride. You went into the gas station. You paid $10 for gas. You was on the phone calling a tow truck. And you took your butt to work like my daughter was not nothing. How didn't you know when you hit something, boom, 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 you're not gonna look up and look in your rearview mirror? My daughter hit your windshield. You didn't see that my daughter was 70 pounds. You didn't feel that? You didn't run her over. You hit her and she flew. And she hit the curb and broke her neck. My daughter's eyes was protruding out of her face. She was lifeless. They gave her that shot for her heart to start beating. That's why I had her for 15 days. 2 extra days because I decided to save another child's life and donated her organs. I wear my daughter's ashes around my neck. That's not something. My daughter's birthday is coming up. She gets to see her children. Not only that, Monday, this is why my eye is like this. Why did I even have to cross paths with her at Aldi's when I live on Babbitt? Why is she tormenting me like I killed her child? If you was paying attention, this would have never happened. Period. And then for you to be tormenting me, talking about some you don't want no wreck, I didn't even know that was her. I don't go following her. My family's not tormenting her. If we wanted to retaliate, we could have. Her records are open. It's public records. I did it the right way, and I did it by the law, and it still didn't go as planned. Why do she have the leisure to still go to work, to still see her children, to still live, to be on Sis Is This Your Man group on Facebook arguing over her boyfriend that kicked me in my face?
you sorry? When you see me in the grocery store, you should have turned around and walked out. You didn't do that. You said you don't want no wreck. I didn't even know this was her. I'm not paying her no attention. I'm in a grocery store. I don't even go to the grocery store. I just so happen to do that. I don't do anything. I haven't worked. I haven't done nothing. But I have to sit here and look at this woman who killed my daughter, and she laughed in my face like it was a joke. How is that sorry? If I was her, if you didn't walk away, at least you could have been like, Twyla, I know you know my name because you clearly know my face. So you could have been like, I'm sorry, Twyla. You could have gave me a hug. You could have came to the hospital. I'm not that type of person. You did none of that. I would have had some type of compassionate because you are a mother, because you are young. So I would have had some compassionate for you, some type of sympathy for you. But you just disregard him. You're not sorry. You pleading guilty to make a show. This is a show for her. Because when we came to court April 9th, she stood right there and right here. And when you said, willingly knowing that you hit a child, she looked at her lawyer and said, I didn't know I hit her. How didn't you know? You might not have known initially because you were texting. But once that car hit my daughter, you knew. You didn't run her over. She fell on the top of your car, rode over your windshield. Your car was undrivable, but you kept going you made it to 185th gas station. You went to work. You had no intentions on turning yourself in. The only reason why you turned yourself in is because the lady that was at the scene followed you to the gas station and called Euclid police. That's why. I don't owe you anything. I don't want no apology because you should have apologized at the scene. And I would have been way more lenient. She needs to get the max that she can get consecutively. Wherever that is, 1 to 3, 1 to 5, that's 8 years. You really need to get more than that. Because when you see me in the grocery store, how are you sorry? How can you change the hands of times when you initiated a fight? How is that sorry? That's not sorry. When you seen me, I didn't see you. So when you seen me, you should have walked away. You shouldn't have been coming talking about some I don't want no wreck. You got the wrong one. Because I could have retaliated. I didn't. I could have went to your mama's house. I could have went to your sister's house. I didn't do none of that. I let the law handle it in the honor of my daughter. Because I know my daughter wouldn't want me behind bars. The type of mother that I am, I don't play no games about my daughter. My daughter is very respectful. You can ask any teacher, anybody. She's not one of these little bad, rowdy kids. She's not like that. And even if she was, she still don't deserve to die. She can't bring my daughter back because of the injuries that she sustained. And I get that. What I'm saying is, as a human, as a mother, because what type of mother are you? You probably don't even got custody of your kids. So what type of mother, you have children of your own, will keep going. Once you hit her, you should have stopped. You could have been at the hospital praying with us. You could have gave me a hug. You could have said, I'm sorry. And I would have took that. And I would have prayed with her. But you didn't do that. Then you want to talk about you incompetent. How are you incompetent but you steady on the internet? Your sister make a Facebook post just after this happened, calling people, talking about they beat me up at Audie's. Y'all don't know who. Cleveland is big, but it's small. You're on Facebook writing statuses about who coming to court with us. So what y'all gonna do at court? This sorry that she's saying, she's not sorry. This is all a show. Because somebody that's sorry, when she seen me in that grocery store, first of all, there's no contact, so she should have left. And why is she driving? Why is she driving? She drove away. Why are you tormenting me? I didn't kill your children. You killed my daughter. You sit up here playing on your phone, playing in your pocket, all blue in your hair like that. You should be in this courtroom crying. You should be remorseful. You should have some empathy as a mother to mother. She don't have no empathy. She doesn't have no sympathy. She doesn't have no morals, and she really do not care. And that's how I honestly, truly feel. But if she would have came at me a different type of way, I probably would be on her side saying, be lenient. I can't do that with a person like that. No way in hell can I pray for her. I can't. I would have. All she had to do was stop. Or instead of calling a ride to pick her up from the gas station, she could have called the police. Clearly she got a cell phone, right? Because she texting and driving, right? So you didn't even call the police. You just disregard who hit somebody and don't look in their rearview mirror. Or who hit something and not look up. So I'm just asking you, I'm begging you, parent to parent, it's unacceptable. Nobody understands how I feel. Like, I don't even know what else to say. Like, she needs to get the max that she can get. Because if she would have came at it a whole different way, I would be right with her, praying for her, and asking you not to give her the max. I even would have changed my story, but once Monday happened, I know she is not sorry. Period. Her and her boyfriend and her sister jumped me. How are you sorry?
Thank you.
Guys, you heard that, right? You heard that? They jumped Desiree's mom. They jumped her. Cynthia, her sister, and her boyfriend jumped Desiree's mother. They jumped her. I'm going to play it again. Listen again.
Her and her boyfriend and her sister jumped me. How are you sorry?
Okay, guys. So, if you've been paying attention to Cynthia's stone face, don't worry. Now she's going to show emotion. But she's going to show emotion because now the judge is going to tell her what her sentence is. Now she shows emotion. She shows it for herself. This is what I mean. She's not sorry. But now you're going to see emotion.
There's no way the law can replace a life. It's inedible. There's nothing we can do. The legislature has determined what kind of consequences should follow when this type of act is committed. And I'm going to follow that legislative guidance. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. This case and your actions and the way you've comported yourself during this case tends to show me that the family's correct, that you don't have real remorse.
Thank you.
And that consecutive sentences are necessary to punish you. And it is not disproportionate to what you did in this case. And I'm further finding that the harm in this matter is so great or unusual that a single term just is not adequate to reflect the seriousness of what you did. Based on all the facts of this case, incorporating the information from the pre-sentence investigative report, your conduct on that day. Therefore, I will impose consecutive sentences. In count one, the aggravated vehicular homicide, it's a felony of the 3rd degree, 5 years at the higher reformatory for women. In count two, failing to stop after an accident, 36 months in the higher reformatory for women. Those will run consecutive to each other. Your driver's license is suspended for life. You're also assessed 6 points on your driver's license. I have considered everything in this matter. Your jail time credit will be applied to your sentence. Document indicates 3 days jail time credit. You're responsible for your costs before you may be required to do community work service. Upon your release, you will be supervised by the Ohio Adult Parole Authority for 3 years. You must follow the rules of the parole authority. Defense remanded.
Okay, that was a rough one. If you're still here, that was a rough one. But thank you for watching it. To the parents and the family of Desire, oh my God, I'm so sorry. My heart is broken for you guys. But I just want you to know, your baby did not die in vain. Guys, here's my PSA. Now I'm giving you my PSA. Tell your kids, tell yourselves, tell your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, your coworkers, whoever. Don't text and drive. Lisa Marie Hastings was born on April 30th, 1990 in Cincinnati, Ohio, to parents Karen and Leonard Hastings. She had one sibling, a brother named Ryan Hastings, and another sibling that passed prior to her death. Lisa graduated with honors from Taylor High School in 2008. She was an accomplished artist, an EMT, and a huge animal lover. July 16th, 2012. 22-year-old Lisa Hastings was on her way to work in her Chevy Cobalt. 19-year-old Dennis Alsip was intoxicated and driving his 1993 Ford Explorer. Witnesses say that Alsip was speeding and weaving in and out of traffic before he lost control of his SUV and landed on top of Lisa's car while she was inside of it, crushing her. Lisa was airlifted to a hospital but would die just 2 days later. The judge sentenced Alsip to 8 years in prison, the maximum, 8 years, 8 freaking years. Lisa's mother, Karen, had some very strong words for Alsip, and who could blame her? My heart absolutely aches for this family.
Today, a mother stood before a judge protecting her daughter.
And when you were asked, do you know what you just did? And you said, no. This is what you did.
Karen Hastings made sure Dennis Alsip wouldn't forget drinking, taking drugs, driving, and then killing her child.
She didn't ask for this. You should have been you. Would be an idiot, kill yourself. And this is where she is now. That's her cemetery. To her to grave, that's where I go on her birthday and Christmas. Because of you. You're not sorry.
22-year-old Lisa Hastings was driving on State Route 128 last July when Alsip hit her vehicle head-on. The emergency medical technician died 2 days later. Today, Alsip apologized before the judge.
I cannot ever imagine the pain that the family is. I just ask that you understand how sorry I really am and how bad I feel about what I've done.
But Hastings' family didn't accept.
I wish Judge Allen would say to me, there he is. Do whatever you want. I would kill you. You killed my daughter. Most of all, I wish that you don't see your 22nd birthday. Your mother is the one that should be going to the cemetery, not me, for your birthday and holidays. If you were put out to the street on garbage day, Rumpke wouldn't even want you.
Alsip will spend the next 8 years in prison, the longest sentence the law allows. And Karen Hastings now moves on to another battle, pushing for tougher punishment in aggravated vehicular homicide cases.
Shane Vernador was born on July 26, 1987 in Beaufort, Georgia, to parents Erica and Teresa Vernador. He had one sibling, a sister named Tara. He was described as a kind soul with a passion for life. He was extremely artistic and excelled at media. At the time of his death, he had been working at Papa John's Pizzeria as a delivery person for the last 5 years. March 1st, 2016, 21-year-old Shane Vernador was working the night shift at Papa John's. 15-year-old Reginald Lofton and his older brother, 21-year-old Jermaine Young, ordered 2 pizzas, 2 dessert pizzas, and 2 2-liter bottles of Pepsi. Shane arrived at the apartment complex at approximately 11:30 p.m. when he was shot and killed. Police found Shane laying in a parking lot in front of the building with a .40 caliber shell close by. 21-year-old Jermaine Young and 15-year-old Reginald Lofton were charged with murder, felony murder, armed robbery, and aggravated assault. Reginald was charged as an adult. Police found $62 in Shane's pocket and the 2 bottles of Pepsi next to his body, which means the only motive for the murder was pizza. That's it, 4 pies. During a search of the home, police found 1 pie in plain view, with the other 3 stashed behind a washer and dryer, and the murder weapon inside a box of pancake mix. Detectives were also able to link the phone number that was used to call the pizzeria that night to Young's Facebook page. Once on Young's Facebook page, they find a picture of Lofton holding the murder weapon just hours before the shooting. Young was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 20 years. Lofton was also found guilty and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole, with his only apology to Shane's family being, quote, sorry for your loss, but I didn't kill your son. I wasn't the shooter, end quote. Again, not surprisingly, there were some harsh words for them.
A Harrington Road apartment complex. A jury took only 2 hours to convict Lofton in the murder. Another suspect is yet to face trial. Now, both prosecutors and the defense agreed Georgia law would not allow a teen that young, 14 at the time of the crime, to be sentenced to life without parole. That upset Vernador's family. Lofton heads to prison denying any involvement.
I just want to say that I'm sorry for your loss, but I did not kill your son. And I wasn't a shooter. That's it, Judge.
I wish I could give you more time than I can because I think you're a cold-blooded killer.
Judge Randy Rich gave Lofton a life sentence with the chance for parole, meaning the prison system could release Lofton in 30 years. Now, the victim's family had some strong.
DeAndre Bullis was born on September 9th, 1993, to parents Sylvia and Chad. At the time of his death, DeAndre was engaged to Sandra Bravo. The couple were raising their 2 small children together, DeAndre and Danico, in Michigan. On May 5th, 2017, Bullis and his cousin were standing outside of DeRosie's salon where they got into a verbal altercation with Andy Gonzalez and 2 others. That's when 22-year-old Gonzalez shot 23-year-old DeAndre Bullis in the head, killing him, and shot his 26-year-old cousin Manuel in the leg. Gonzalez would be arrested 2 days later for the murder and attempted murder. Gonzalez was released from jail 5 months before the shooting for delivery and manufacturing of illegal substances and for carrying a concealed weapon. Gonzalez was found guilty of second-degree murder and given 65 to 100 years. He was found guilty of attempted murder and given 35 to 100 years, and was also sentenced to another 2 years for using a gun, all to run concurrently. At sentencing, DeAndre's mom and fiance had some really, really harsh words for Gonzalez. Like really harsh words. And who could blame them?
Because I suffer, your mom's going to suffer too. My grandsons have to live the rest of their life without their dad. They didn't even have a dad growing up. So thank you. Thank you for what you did. Because you ruined my life, you ruined their lives, and you ruined your family lives. Because he didn't need no gun to kill nobody. He could have beat your ass up and down the street, you and the clowns that you hang out with. Now my baby is dead. So you're happy. Thank you. Because I'm happy too. Because yeah, his body is dead, but his spirit lives on. And I know he's standing right here laughing at you. That's why you killed him, right? Because he laughed at you? Because you're a bitch. You're a coward. You already know how life is in prison. And you think you're going to just be happy-go-lucky? Nah, mother. You're going to suffer for the rest of your life. Bent over with your mouth open, being everybody's bitch for the rest of your life. Why did you kill my baby? You ain't got a reason. Mother, you're going to die in prison.
Ma'am.
I know.
I think you need to calm down at this point.
I know.
Okay.
But I have to live the rest of my life without my son. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry to you. Because you got what you cut. Green light on you. Ain't that what they said? Ain't that what you heard? Good. And I hope you suffer for the rest of your life.
But there's not much to say. You're a coward.
Yeah.
You're a coward, and you know if you would have fought him that day, he would have beat your ass. And you couldn't take that ass whooping, so you decided to kill him. You decided to go get a gun and kill him because you don't have the balls to fight like a man. You had to come back around and kill him because you know he would have whooped your ass. You took my kid's dad from him. Now they have to grow up for the rest of their life without their dad, and he was a good-ass dad. He spent every single second caring for them and loving them. Yeah. And now they have to go on without him, and I have to go on without him and raise my 2 boys without their daddy. You don't even know what it's like to be a father. You're just stupid. Yeah. You killed him for no reason. You had no right. And I hope you rot in hell in prison for the rest of your damn life. I hope you get exactly what you deserve in prison, and you know what's gonna happen to you when you go to prison. God forgive me, but I hate you. Yeah. And I hope you rot in hell for the rest of your life.
All right, I think we're...
James Holler Jr. was born on April 13th, 1942. He was a devoted husband and father. He was a Marine who served 2 tours in Vietnam. He served with the Detroit Police Department in the 1970s as a Detroit Reserve police officer. He retired from General Motors, was an auto worker, and a union worker. November 1st, 2017. Holler and 2 other employees were working at O'Reilly Auto Parts in Detroit. Holler was in the back room of the store, and there were 2 cashiers at the register. The 2 walked around the store for a short time before walking up to the cashier, armed with a gun, demanding money, and ordering them to get down on the ground so they could clear out the register. That's when Holler came out of the back room and yelled, "Hey!" Anderson fired a single shot, hitting Holler in the head. Then the 2 fled the scene in an SUV. Holler was rushed to the hospital, but would tragically die 2 hours later. Shanta Anderson turned herself in on November 6, 2017, and was charged with felony murder, 2 counts of armed robbery, and 3 counts of felony firearm. Ebony Ross turned herself in on November 13, 2017, and was charged with felony murder and 2 counts of armed robbery. The person driving the getaway car, Leviticus Butler, was charged with helping Anderson evade police and accessory after the fact. He claims that he was in a love triangle with the 2 girls and told police the reason for the robbery was because it was his birthday and his 2 girlfriends wanted to take him out for the night. He was sentenced to probation.
Sources telling Local 4 the alleged shooter in this murder, Shante Anderson, along with her friend Ebony McEwen Ross, are in a love triangle with the 3rd suspect, Leviticus Butler, according to what Butler is sharing with investigators. Butler telling those investigators that he considers both suspects his girlfriends. He's charged with accessory after the fact for allegedly helping Anderson hide. Today, McEwen Ross was arraigned on felony murder and armed robbery charges. Her arrest is key to the entire case. Sources say she gave a brief statement to investigators, allegedly admitting that is her in this video helping rob the store. Prosecutors say the other woman is Anderson. She's charged with shooting store manager James Holler. In court, the attorney for McEwen Ross argued that she should be given a break on bond because she turned herself in this week. But she turned herself in nearly 2 weeks after the crime.
When you want a lawyer, she wasn't hiding. She was communicating with her lawyer so she can come in with a lawyer. She has a right to counsel. It's very serious allegations.
Why would the 2 women allegedly rob the auto parts store for about $100, then shoot and kill the beloved manager, Mr. Holler? Sources say Butler told detectives that it happened on his birthday. He and his 2 girlfriends were going out, and the women, he believes, were after money to buy him a gift or to use as they celebrated that night.
Both women pled guilty. Ebony McEwen Ross spoke before her sentencing, saying, quote, "I never meant for anybody to get hurt, and I know it doesn't mean much, but I am sorry," end quote. Ross was sentenced to 21 to 50 years behind bars. Anderson also spoke before her sentencing, saying, quote, "I want to say that people make mistakes, and mistakes don't define you as a person, and that's it," end quote. You're absolutely correct, Shanta. People do make mistakes, and it should not define them. However, they're taking responsibility for their mistake and their sorrow or in your case, lack thereof, for the mistake, is what defines you as a person. And you, my dear, have zero remorse. Anderson was sentenced to 30 to 60 years. Holler's widow is devastated and had some very harsh words for the killers.
I want to get her. Yes, I do, Your Honor. I want to get her. You just don't know how I want to get you. You don't know how I want to get you. Ma'am?
The wife of murder victim James Holler Jr. had to be held back in court this morning by sheriff's deputy. Today, the convicted shooter, Shante Anderson, was sentenced, but Mrs. Holler was sure to have the final word.
You don't know what you did, young lady. Do you understand me? You don't know what you did. And I wish I could get to you to hang you in here today. To hang you, because that's what you need. Taking an innocent life. An innocent life. I just wanted to get her, but vengeance belongs to God, not me. But at that moment, I just wanted to get her. And I know that wouldn't have been right.